All righty. Let's see here. It is about 11 o'clock. You're fine. Can you go shut that door back there real quick for me?
I'll have to head over to those.
For sure.
I'm sleeping there.
For sure. This is live, by the way, so.
Yeah, I can do that. I know how that works.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing kicked off here in the next 60 seconds. I'm going to be going over a quick start training, guys. So going to get this kicked off here in the next 1 to 2 minutes. All right, so it is 11:02, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing kicked off. My name is Drew Crow. I'm 21 years old, guys. I'm currently located in Muncie, Indiana. When I initially heard about this thing, it was going on almost 2 years now, and I was at Indiana University. I had the privilege to meet Varun, who some of you guys may have seen on the opportunity webinar at 10 o'clock. But guys, my why in this whole thing, obviously, I'll get into it just a minute. The important thing is to have a reason as to why you're doing what you're doing. And, my reason is my mom. She's someone who obviously is very important to me, and someone that I'm wanting to retire by the end of this year. And so, the great part about this business is that in order for us to make any money, in order for anyone in this business to make any type of money, you have to help a lot of people do that as well, guys. So, obviously, guys, with what's, happening, what's crazy is that, when I first got involved with this company, the products, the system, the training, I mean, it's completely changed into what it is today. When I got started, the products were not there in terms of the coffee. We didn't have the tea. We didn't have, all these different product lines, man. We had, Verb, regular, zero sugar, and I think we might've had Bold. But there wasn't really a system. There wasn't really a set of things that were really congruent throughout the business in terms of what it was that we were supposed to do. And so for those who are getting started now and new, you couldn't have gotten on board at a so I'm going to get into the quick start, obviously what to do from this point. If you're on this call, I'm assuming that you're someone who is interested in taking this business seriously. And if so, I'm a firm believer that, setting expectations is huge, right? And so just to set expectations, guys, I like to talk about the phases of growth that you could possibly go through in this business. And one of those phases, the first phase, maybe you just got started or you're thinking about just getting started. This is what's going to happen, right? You're going to be super excited. You're going to be stoked. You're going to be fired up. You're about ready to make a lot of money, right? It's awesome. Everything's great. Sunshines, daisies, whatever. And then what happens is, the second phase, which is, maybe something that you've already gone through or something that you will go through, which is cold feet. Understand that most people who get involved with this business, they go through those first 2 stages, and understand that the second stage, cold feet, is where a lot of people will quit, right? So the reason that we let people know about the, what to expect in this business is so that when you do have that, let's say you were to have cold feet, it's not something where you think, oh, I'm the only one who has this, right? Understand that's something that everyone goes through. And it's something that if you push through in that moment, then, you're going to be fine. So I'm going to go into a little bit of also in terms of expectations. You're going to have temporary setbacks. 1 second. Can you guys get out of here? Awesome. You're going to have temporary setbacks, and you're going to have people tell you no. You're going to have people part of the business, right? Those are all business functions. Understand that those things happen. Right. So definitely just go into it with the expectation that, these things are going to happen, but as long as you have a reason, as long as you formed your own opinion on why this thing is going to work for you, that's all that matters. So getting into that, right, the first questions that I would write down on your paper, these are things that I would definitely have you answer, or that you want to definitely answer for yourself and really spend some time thinking about, is why you, okay, and then why Vima. Right. So going into why are you doing this business? Right. Like, what are you trying to get out of it? Understand, if money motivated you, you would already be rich. Right. So money is not going to be enough to push you through this business when things may get tough. Right. So you need to have a strong reason, okay, as to why you want to do this. Secondly, why you, right? Really start to identify the qualities about yourself that can make you good at this business, right? Don't focus on the things that you may lack. Understand that anyone who's ever been successful in life and anyone who's been successful in this business is no different than you, right? And understand that you don't have to be them. You don't have to be me. You don't have to be Varun. You don't have to be these guys that you see making a lot of money in this business to be successful. The best part about this business and network marketing period is that you get to be genuinely be yourself, right? You get to be yourself, and you get to be, the best and become the best version of yourself. And so why you start to identify those qualities and start to strengthen them and hone in on them and strengthen them. And then why Vima, right? It's very, very important to be very clear on why it is that, you are using Vima specifically as your vehicle to acquire wealth, right? Why do I say that? Because there's a lot of ways that you can go make money, right? You have, from working a job to, being, a mailman, right? There's a lot of different ways to make money. So why Vima specifically? What it's going to do is it's going to form your own opinion on why the company specifically is for you, right? So ask yourself those 3 questions, spend some time on that. And then practicality wise, what I would focus on is the first step is the list, right? You want to make a list. And this is honestly, guys, what most people will fail to do. Even though we recommend that you make a list, most people will still fail to do the steps. So making a list, guys, the bigger the list, the bigger the belief. Why is that? Well, let's say you have a list of 20 people and you only make your list 20 people, okay? And you talk to your first 10 friends of those 20 people and they all tell you no, right? And we keep in mind, going back to expectations, we already told you people are going to tell you no, right? So like I said, not everyone's going to get it, but let's say you have that list of 20 and you have 10 people who said no, you only have 10 people left to talk to at that point. Your belief went from here way down to here, right? But what happens when you have a list of 300, 400, 500 people and the first 10 people told you no? You're chilling. You have so many more people to talk to, right? So the bigger the list, the bigger the belief. And when making your list, to make it bigger, you don't want to just think about the people in your head that you have right off the bat, right? You want to really dig deep into your social media. People who follow you on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, they obviously care what you have to say, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be following you. Contacts in your phone, go through them, right? Start thinking about who people have introduced you to even, right? So definitely make a big list. And guys, don't make it just one big list, but you want to have, I like having 2 lists, right? Have one that you have people that you want to build the business with, and then have people that you want, to maybe try out as a customer. Okay. So have different lists, and when it comes to customers, you're looking at people who have, maybe drink caffeine already, or maybe people who, already drink a lot of coffee. Maybe some of your family members or friends or whatever are already taking pills and capsules, right? With the Vima formula, because it's a liquid, it absorbs up to 90 to 95% through your body, because our bodies are like a sponge. Whereas if you are taking a solid form, you're only absorbing like 15 to 20%, right? So most likely people that are already spending money on products like these, right? That's kind of why this business works. And so definitely start to identify who in your family, who close friends, or older relatives, whatever, who you can really share this product with, right? The products are absolutely phenomenal, and you're definitely going to want to have a high belief level about the products. So definitely have a list of who you want to build the business with, as well as customers. Guys, and then going on to the list of people that you want to build the business with, this is something I found that's really, really huge, and it helps you in the invite process, right? On your list, identify the need, identify the quality about that person that would make them good at this, and then identify what it is they want to do. And here's the thing, is if you can't identify those things about that person yet, then that means you need to spend some more time talking to that person before maybe you present the opportunity to them. Right? Vima is a solution to a problem. But what some people do in this business, and that's really shooting themselves in the foot, is they'll try to give a solution without a problem. right? What does 5 mean unless it's, 2 plus 3, right? There needs to be a problem for the solution. You guys need to maybe, and something that, really took me a long time to realize is that, you definitely need to make it about them. And to do that, you really need to start to know those things. So find out what it is they want, right? What do they really want out of life? Not what they think they can have, but what do they want, right? And I think that goes for you as well. If you're thinking about what you think you can have in this business, I highly encourage you to think, much more and beyond that, right? Think much bigger, much sooner. Guys, going on with the list, never prejudge. But I think in terms of qualities, what to look for is the biggest desire to change the current situation. Understand that when I first got started in this business, what I initially looked for was who knew the most people, who could talk the best, who maybe was most popular or who had most influence. Yeah, some of those things are good. Some of those things, translate well to this business. But what I've seen translates more than anything is the desire to change the current situation, right? Because all the other things are learnable, right? The desire is unteachable. So when looking for people and when, writing these people down, consider that as the number one quality that you're looking for. Because I promise you, that's what's going to allow them to be able to learn the skills, take the time to develop the skills, right? Because like I said, they're all learnable. Nobody came in this business, nobody came into Vima with just the knowledge and the skill level to take it, to the moon right away, right? It's something that had to be developed over time. So embrace that, right? If you're not good at making a list initially, embrace the fact that you get to get better at it, right? Because that's going to make it to where your value and, understanding network marketing, you're paid out on the value that you bring to the marketplace. It's going to make you more valuable, right? So second step, practicality wise, is invite. In terms of inviting, guys, be genuine, right? Make it about them. If you've already previously identified on your list why they need it, why they'd be good at it, and what it is they want out of life, then the invite's going to be very, very simple. If you haven't identified those things, which would more than likely mean you're making it about you as opposed to about them, then it's going to be very, very difficult for you to invite your friend to something like this. But at the end of the day, just make it genuine, right? When it comes to the invite, your goal is obviously to get your friend from their couch or their house or wherever they're at and currently in their life to hear out this opportunity, right? And to be, to use the system of leverage that, Vima and network marketing has, which is the beautiful part about it, right? We're able to leverage wealth to create wealth, right? That's why this industry is so successful. What I like to use in this business when it comes to invite is the PS3 method. Pique their interest, right? Knowing that quality, the need, desire. And then share your story, right? How did you hear about this company, right? What really clicked with you, right? What kinds of things made you, got your gears turning? And then set up a third-party exposure, right? So PS3, pique their interest, share your story, third-party exposure. So what is a third-party exposure? That's what you're inviting them to, whether that be a Skype call or an Uber call or an event, or maybe it's just a one-on-one, right? A one-on-one appointment. Whatever it is for you, like I said, your friends better than we do. So make it a point to know your friends and make it about them. And then the third thing is presentation, okay? Understand, guys, the person who shares the story the most wins. End of story. The person who shares the story the most wins. And so here's the thing is if your presentation isn't good, okay, it's purely out of a lack of effort, and I promise you that. And there's going to come a point in your business when you realize that, look, if the people who are making money, they're the ones who are in front of the room speaking, right? The people who are making money are the people who are leveraging the best, right? So you have to understand that if your presentation and if your leverageability isn't there, it's something that you need to start to develop. So practice your presentation. What your presentation is you're sharing your story, right? And that's the coolest thing in the world is that all we are is professional storytellers. The more you tell your story, the more fluent you get, right? The only reason that maybe someone sounds so fluent, when they're up there speaking is because they've said it a shit ton of times. A crap ton of times. So make it a point to definitely spend some time with your presentation. This is a profession. Network marketing is a profession, right? So obviously if you're treating it like one, you're going to get paid as if you're treating it like one, right? If you treat it as if it's a hobby, it's going to pay you like it's a hobby, right? You can't expect anything different. What you put in will be what you get out 100%. And when it comes to presentation, consider that your craft, right? You're working on your craft when it comes to this business, when it comes to the presentation. So really, if it's not there, like I said, you want to make sure that you definitely start to work on that. In the meantime, for the people who are new, keep in mind when your upline is sharing the story for you, when you're using the ability to leverage, you're learning, right? In that time, you're learning how to share the story. You're taking notes, and you're working on developing your own and adding your own twist to it. Like I said, the sooner you step up, the better. And then the last thing I really wanted to talk about, guys, was all out massive action. I heard this from one of my mentors, Varun Nigam, the guy who was on the 10 o'clock call. 10% of what you learn is going to be external, right? 90% is going to be learned internally, right? Basically what I'm saying is you're going to learn the most by doing it. Right? How did you get good at anything? Some of you guys maybe played sports, or you play an instrument, or you've done something in your life that at one point you weren't good at, but because you wanted to get good at it, you spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours dedicated to learning how to get good at it, right? This business is no different, right? Don't expect to come in and be a superstar right off the bat, but come in with the expectation to become one, right? And that goes into, something else that I want to talk about, guys. Be here a year from now. Right? If you come into this business, your upline, myself, whoever you're working with, has the understanding, there's a mutual understanding between the two of you that you're going to be here a year from now. And if you don't have that understanding 100%, then you're wasting your time. Right? Like I said, this business takes time. It takes effort, but is it worth it? 100%. Okay? So VMA, and this, in my opinion, is one of the best reasons as to why this business can work for anyone. Is because it's a numbers game. What you lack in skill right off the bat, you make up for in numbers, right? So there's something called the law of averages, and Jim Rohn talks about this in building his network marketing business on YouTube, which is something I highly recommend you checking out. But what he talks about is the law of averages, and what the law of averages states is basically you do something long enough and a ratio starts to appear, okay? So let's say, you talk to 10 people, and out of those 10 people, one person talking to 10 people trying to get them out to an event for tomorrow, out of those 10 people, one person says yes. So for every 10, you know that you can get one, right? Now, let's say because I've been in this business longer, right? Let's say because I've been in this business longer, I could talk to 10 people and I can get 9 of them to show up to the event, right? Just purely because, I've been in this business longer, I've spent more time on developing my skill. I'm more skillful maybe than the newest person, okay? So how do you, as someone who's new, beat someone like me who may be more skillful? Well, if you talk to 10 and get 1, you talk to 100, you get 10, right? That's how you win. VMA is a numbers game. And I promise you, if you treat it like a numbers game and you emotionally detach yourself from the business will work for you, right? But it really is treating it like that, guys. So this is the last thing, I will say before I kind of get off here, guys, is one, you gotta embrace failure, right? You truly have to be willing to look at every situation as either you win or you learn, right? Failing in this business is just successfully figuring out what does and doesn't work, okay, which is awesome, right? Or the ability to start over with more experience. That's all failing is in this business, guys. And if you treat it like that, I promise you it's going to do wonders for you. And then the last thing I will say is this, is the hardest sale you will ever have to make in this business, guys, is the fact that you are good enough to be successful in this business, right? Belief is everything. If you don't have belief, nothing else will work for you in this business, right? Nothing else. You have to have belief in yourself. And why shouldn't you, right? You have to truly accept, guys, that VMA works. VMA is consistent for you. It's consistent for me. It's consistent for anyone who is going to continue to get started from this point on. And you have to accept that everyone who has been successful is no different than you, and that you can do it too, right? And it sounds easy if you're new, but I tell you what, you have to really drive that into your head, guys. That will be the hardest sell you have to make. So that's the quick start training, guys, that I am, I wanted to go over with you guys. I appreciate every one of you guys' time. But with that, don't say we were lucky.